Stop waiting for a rescue. Most people live their entire lives on pause, hoping that one day, the universe will finally hand them a break. They believe happiness is a lottery ticket, and if they just suffer long enough, their numbers will eventually be called. But let me tell you the absolute truth: the world does not owe you a good day. Happiness is not a reward for merely surviving the storm. It is a weapon you must forge while the lightning strikes. Every morning, you face a brutal decision. Will you let your pain dictate your reality, or will you stand up, take control of your mind, and command your own peace? The choice is yours, and the clock is ticking. 1. The Great Illusion of Someday. We live in a world deeply infected by the disease of someday. It is a quiet, comfortable trap. Your mind whispers to you, "I will be happy someday. I will finally find peace when I get that promotion, when my bank account reaches a certain number, when the weekend arrives, or when the people around me start treating me better." You tie your emotional well-being to external conditions, chaining your soul to things you cannot control. You tell yourself that once the storm passes, you will finally be able to smile. But look at the reality of human existence. The moment one storm fades, another is already gathering on the horizon. If you wait for your life to become perfect before you permit yourself to be happy, you will be waiting until the day you die. The finish line is an illusion. It is a mirage that keeps moving further away every time you take a step toward it. This conditional happiness is the ultimate form of self-sabotage. You are actively handing over your power to the weather, to the economy, to the moods of strangers, and to the unpredictable chaos of life. When you say, "I cannot be happy because my situation is hard," you are making a fatal mistake. You are confusing your environment with your identity. Your circumstances dictate where you are standing, but they do not, and absolutely must not, dictate who you are becoming. Let me be clear: true joy is not the absence of struggle. It is the absolute refusal to let the struggle consume your spirit. Happiness is an internal architecture. It is a deliberate, fiercely protected space inside your own mind that operates entirely independent of the outside world. It does not care if it is raining. It does not care if you have been rejected, betrayed, or ignored. When you finally break free from the illusion of someday, you realize that peace is not a destination you travel to. It is a posture you assume right here, right now, in the very middle of the battlefield. Stop looking at the calendar. Stop looking at your bank account to tell you how to feel. Stop waiting for the world to apologize to you or make things right. You are the architect of your own emotional state. If you want joy, you do not search for it out there. You construct it in here. You build it with your thoughts, you reinforce it with your perspective, and you defend it with an uncompromising standard. The lazy mind always looks outward for excuses to be miserable. The powerful mind looks inward for reasons to be unshakable. Today, right now, is the only moment you actually own. Do not sacrifice it to the illusion of a better tomorrow. Plant your feet in the dirt of your current reality, look the hardship dead in the eye, and decide that you will rise anyway. 2. Forged in the fire, redefining adversity. We have been sold a massive lie about what a good life is supposed to look like. We are conditioned from a young age to believe that the ultimate goal of human existence is comfort. We strive to eliminate friction, avoid struggle, and create a perfectly safe bubble where nothing can ever hurt us. But comfort is a quiet killer. It is a slow poison that lulls your highest potential to sleep. It makes your mind weak, your body soft, and your spirit fragile. Understand this fundamental truth of nature. True strength is never forged in the safety of a calm harbor. It is never born on a couch or in the middle of an easy day. Strength is forged exclusively in the blinding heat of the fire. It is built under the crushing pressure of difficulty. When life turns completely upside down, when the plans you made shatter into pieces, and when you are forced to walk through the fire, that is not life punishing you. That is life introducing you to your true self. When life is hard, you get to see exactly what you are made of. The weak and lazy mind looks at difficulty and immediately begs for pity. It cries out, asking why the universe is so unfair. It desperately searches for an audience to validate its suffering, hoping someone will come along and save it. But the powerful mind operates on an entirely different frequency. The powerful mind looks at the same devastation, the same tragedy, and hunts for purpose. You cannot ever afford to let your pain define your reality. Pain is a biological and spiritual signal. It is not a life sentence. It is simply the friction required to sharpen the blade of your character. The moment you allow the chaos outside of you to dictate the world inside of you, you surrender your ultimate power. And when you lose your power, you lose your peace. People think that enduring hard times means gritting your teeth and just surviving until it is over. But surviving is the bare minimum. You are not here just to survive. You must learn to smile when it feels completely unnatural. And let us be absolutely clear about what that smile represents. That smile is not fake. It is not some superficial mask of toxic positivity pretending that everything is perfectly fine. That smile is fuel. It is an act of pure, calculated rebellion against the darkness trying to consume you. You force yourself to smile, not because life is easy, but because you are declaring to the world that you are infinitely stronger than whatever you are going through. There will absolutely be days when you feel broken. There will be mornings when the gravity of your situation makes you want to pull the covers over your head and disappear. There will be seasons of your life where joy feels like a dead language you can no longer speak. But listen to me carefully. Those are the exact days that define your legacy. Those are the moments where your future is carved into existence. Hard times are the gym for the soul. You either step up to the weight and lift it, or you let it crush you. There is no middle ground. That is the testing ground where you either dig deeper into the core of who you are, or you fold and give up. If you want peace, you do not wait for the storm to pass. You build your peace, brick by heavy brick, right there in the pitch-black dark. If you want joy, you create it with your bare hands exactly when the world says you have no right to possess it. That is what real power looks like. That is resilience in its purest form. And that is exactly what separates the average human from the truly unstoppable force. 3. The sovereign mind, taking back your power. Most people walk through their entire lives as emotional slaves without ever realizing it. They wake up every day and hand the remote control of their mood to the outside world. If the traffic is bad, they are angry. If someone disrespects them, they are miserable. If they experience a setback, they are completely defeated. Their emotions dictate their actions, Their fears shape their words, and their fleeting feelings dictate their future. Listen to me very carefully. The moment you let someone else's actions determine your joy, you hand them the keys to your soul. You are essentially telling the world, I am weak, please decide how I will feel today. When your emotional strength belongs to something outside of you, it can be hijacked and taken from you at any moment. That is not freedom. That is living as a hostage to the chaos around you. It is time to take those keys back. You do not need permission from the universe to be happy. You do not need everything to be perfectly aligned. What you need is standards. You need high mental standards and high emotional standards. You must build an unyielding sovereign mind that says, no matter what comes, I rise. Not because life is fair, but because I have trained my mind to rise anyway. That is what warriors do. That is what true leaders do. That is exactly what you were meant to do. When your emotions are running wild, when panic sets in, or when frustration tries to take over, it is your absolute duty to stop the chaos. There is a sacred space between what happens to you and how you respond to it. In that space lies your ultimate power. Take a deep breath and remind yourself, I am in charge here. Not my pain. Not my fear. Not my doubt. Me. My decisions. My standards. My thoughts. My posture. My focus. You are the sole observer and commander of your internal environment. You choose what lives in your head, and you must refuse to rent out space to weakness. Stop feeding your pain. Start feeding your vision. Too many people are addicted to their own misery. They replay the worst moments of their lives on an endless loop. Stop repeating the story of what hurt you. Stop giving free advertising to the people who betrayed you or the failures that set you back. Start writing the story of how you overcame it all. Talk like someone with power. Think like someone with purpose. Walk like someone who knows, deep in their bones, that happiness is a fierce act of will, not an empty wish. When you want to shut down, but you show up anyway, that is real control. When you feel empty inside, but you speak power into your own soul anyway, that is not faking it. That is courage. That is a strength. That is the real you fighting your way to the surface. You must meet adversity with a mindset so dominant that it literally shocks the world. While others crumble and curse the test, you stand tall, you look the storm in the eye, and you say, good. Now I rise. 4. Discipline as the ultimate self-love. There is a dangerous myth that keeps millions of people stuck in mediocrity, waiting for a spark that will never come. It is the myth of motivation. We are told that to achieve greatness or find happiness, we must feel inspired. We must wake up fired up and ready to conquer the day. But let me tell you the absolute truth, motivation is a fleeting visitor. It is an unreliable emotion that abandons you the second things get difficult. If you rely on motivation to build your life will collapse the moment the wind changes direction. What you need is not motivation. What you need is discipline. Discipline is the anchor in the middle of the storm. When your emotions scream at you to hide, to react, to surrender to the pressure, discipline is the quiet, unbreakable voice that tells you to move anyway. It does not care if you are tired. It does not care if you are broken, frustrated, or completely uninspired. It moves. And that movement builds momentum. Too many people wait to feel good before they do good. They say they will start working on their dreams, their health, or their mindset when they are in a better headspace. That is weakness disguised as logic. You do not wait to be inspired. You move with discipline, and inspiration follows you. You do not need to feel good to act right. You need to act right to feel good. That is the secret the average person absolutely refuses to learn. Discipline is often misunderstood as a punishment, a restriction of freedom. But in reality, discipline is the ultimate form of self-love and self-respect. It is choosing what is right over what is easy. It is holding the line when your mind begs you to quit. Every single time you stay focused, stay honest, and stay hungry when you would rather be comfortable, you carve a deeper sense of respect for yourself. That self-respect breeds self-trust. And self-trust breeds a kind of happiness that cannot be shaken by outside circumstances. Happiness built on external results is incredibly fragile. People will disappoint you. Markets will crash. Opportunities will vanish. But happiness built on discipline is bulletproof. Because even when the world collapses around you, your habits, your routines, and your inner framework remain entirely intact. When others are consumed by doubt and panic, you move with absolute purpose because you have conditioned your mind to obey principle, not impulse. You must treat discipline as the emotional muscle memory of greatness. It is doing the work when no one is watching. It is controlling your tongue when anger rises. It is choosing growth over harmless distractions. The greatest threat to your joy is not your pain, it is your own permission to stay average. Discipline silences the regret of unfulfilled potential before it even starts. You do not have to love the process of discipline to be transformed by it. You just have to execute it, day after day, choice after choice, until the very habits that once felt heavy become the foundation of your absolute freedom. 5. The daily battle, how to command your state. Every single morning, when you wake up, there is a fierce war taking place before your feet even hit the ground. Your mind instinctively wants to slip back into comfort. Your feelings want to guide you back to the familiar pain of the past, and your doubt desperately wants to whisper that you are simply not enough. But you must remember who you are. You are not a victim of those morning thoughts. You are the captain. You either take control of the day, or you let the day break you. This is the daily battle. It is not fought with swords or shields, but with focus, posture, and uncompromising self-command. You must stop waiting for motivation to show up. You must stop asking the universe for peace and hoping for strength. You must command it. When the day begins, you must speak to yourself with absolute authority. You stand in the mirror, look yourself dead in the eye, and you speak your reality into existence. You do not say, "I hope I feel better today." You do not say, "I will wait and see how today goes." No. You lead. You take charge. You set the emotional thermostat for your own life. Your inner declarations are the weapons you use against the chaos of the world. Every morning, repeat this out loud: today I choose strength. Today I choose joy. Today I rise, no matter what. You say it until your spirit obeys it. You say it until your attitude becomes completely unbreakable. If life turns cold, you heat up from within. If people go silent, you speak to yourself louder. If the day feels incredibly heavy, you carry it with perfect posture and fierce pride. Complaining is easy. Anyone can whine. Anyone can point fingers and explain in perfect detail why life is unfair and why things should be easier. But those who achieve real transformation do not have a single ounce of space in their minds for self-pity. They use every hit as a spark. They turn loss into fuel. They turn delays into a deeper, more aggressive drive. They command their breath, they command their presence, and they command their emotional state. You are not here to be like everyone else. You are not here to just cope, and you are certainly not here to merely survive the day. You are here to conquer it. You must make the conscious decision to lead yourself from the front, even if your knees are shaking. Refuse to be average. Choose to lead yourself with massive energy, relentless discipline, and profound gratitude. When others see you smile through the struggle, they will wonder what your secret is. They will think you have some magical advantage or that you were simply born lucky. But you will know the truth. There is no secret. It is just daily, brutal, beautiful self-leadership. It is the conscious choice, made over and over again, to push yourself into the strongest, highest version of who you are meant to be. Not because it is comfortable, but because life is incredibly short, and you absolutely refuse to waste it living weak. It all comes down to one absolute, undeniable truth: you are in control. You may not be in control of everything that happens around you, but you are completely, undeniably in control of everything that happens within you. And that is where your real power lies. For too long, you have been sold the idea that you are a passenger in your own life, simply reacting to the bumps in the road. But you are not the passenger. You are the driver. You are the architect. You are the master of your fate and the commander of your soul. Happiness is not a hidden treasure you stumble upon while wandering through life. It is not a magical emotion that suddenly appears when the conditions are perfect, when the sun shines, and when everyone praises you. Happiness is forged. It is constructed brick by brick, step by step, thought by thought. It is the direct result of intense inner construction, not outer coincidence. It is something you must build, protect, and fiercely reinforce every single day through discipline, through an unbreakable mindset, and through unwavering self-leadership. Life will continue to test you. That is a guarantee. It will push you, it will stretch you, and there will be times when it actively tries to break you. But you must firmly decide, right here and right now, that those moments are not your downfall. They are your definition. They are the exact arenas where you prove to yourself who you truly are. You do not prove it by what you feel, you prove it by what you choose. You do not prove it by the ease of the path, you prove it by how you respond to the climb. So, this is your final call to action. Stop waiting for perfect conditions. Stop hoping for easier days. Stop wishing for the world to change so that you can finally feel at peace. The world does not owe you an apology, and it does not owe you an easy ride. If you want a better life, you must become a stronger person. You must become sharper. You must become someone who rises with absolute conviction, no matter what is put in front of you. When adversity shows up at your door, look it in the eye and smile. Not because you love the pain, but because you love the person you are becoming through the fire. That smile is your silent, powerful declaration to the universe that nothing outside of you can ever defeat what lives inside of you. This is your time. This is your moment. You have questioned yourself long enough. You have waited long enough. Now, it is time to respond. Not with fear. Not with hesitation. Respond with power. Respond with massive action. Respond with joy. Because when you finally master your mind, when you command your emotions, and when you choose relentless discipline over the illusion of comfort, you do not just find happiness. You become it. And once you become it, nothing in this world can ever take it away from you. Now, get up and go build your life.